Okay, today is Angles and Triangles, section 3.2. In class we talked about the angles of a triangle and did an activity. We're going to continue learning about angles and triangles. The angles inside a polygon are called interior angles. When the sides of a polygon are extended, other angles are formed. The angles outside the polygon that are adjacent to the interior angles are called exterior angles. And if you think about those words, interior, the interior of your house is the inside of your house, and the exterior of your house is the outside. So looking at the triangle, you can see here the interior angles, and then the exterior angles are the angles formed outside the triangle. And we can show you some more pictures of those coming up. Okay, so looking down here, looking down here, the angle measures, interior angle measures of a triangle. We did this today in class, and we learned that the angles of a triangle, the interior angles, add up to 180. So we're just going to do a couple more problems like that using interior angle measures. It says find the value of x and label all angle measures. So don't forget at the end to go back and label them. So the angles of a triangle add up to 180. So we're trying to figure out what is this angle then, the missing angle. So algebraically we can write x plus 32 plus 48 equals 180. I hope in your head you're thinking, oh, you add 32 plus 48 together and then subtract from 180. And yes, and this is what it looks like with an equation. 32 plus 48 is equal to 80 equals 180, and then subtract from 180 and you get x equals 100 because we subtract 80 from both sides. I go back and I take this 100-degree measure and I plug it back in up here and I say, okay, does that make sense? Does that seem reasonable? 100 plus 48 plus 32 adds up to 180. So yes, this is the correct answer, check mark. Okay, for B, let's do problem B then. The same thing. What do you know first? Label what you know. So this angle right here, this right angle is 90 degrees. So I'm going to put the numbers in there so I can remember. And I know I've learned that all three angles add up to 180. So there's one of my angles, there's another one, and I have 90. So I go ahead and write that out. This angle, don't try and solve it all at once, but write down x plus, what's the second angle up here? X plus 28. Plus, this 90 degrees right here should all add up to 180. Okay, and then remember when we're solving equations to go through and what goes together? X plus x. What is x plus x? 2x. So go ahead and add those together and you get 2x plus, then these two go together. What is 28 plus 90? 118 equals 180. At this point, what can you do? You can subtract from both sides. Subtract the 118 minus 118. And you get 2x equals 62. 2 times what is 62? Well, so that's when you divide both sides by 2. Get x equals 31. Okay, well, okay, that seems like an answer, but plug it back in and see if that makes sense. So then this angle would be 31 degrees, and then plug it in here, and see if I plug in 31, 31 plus 28 adds up to 59 degrees. And then so I could check 59 plus 31 plus 90, yep, equals 90, equals 180. So that sounds good. You did it correctly. Okay, the next section is on your own. So oops, I meant to highlight that. That's what you do on your own. So you can pause and do that now, or you can move on. So we can turn the page when you're ready and go over here to exterior angles of a triangle. So remember, the exterior means the outside, and that's what we're going to be talking about next. So the outside angles. So you see this angle here, angle Z, is the outside angle, outside of the triangle. And it says the measure of the exterior angle of a triangle is equal to the sum. Everybody think of what sum means. Addition So we're adding the sum of the measures of the two non-adjacent interior angles. So Z, angle Z, is equal to x plus y. So look at x and y right here. So if I add those two angles up, that's equal to the same angle as Z. That has the same angle measure as Z. So the exterior angle is equal to the sum of x and y right there. Okay, so let's go through the examples and we'll see if that makes sense. I also want to talk about real quick with a picture of what it looks like to draw exterior angles. So if I look at this example A and we see this exterior angle right here, angle X. Okay, I could have, if I didn't have that line, I can also draw an exterior angle. If I continue that line, I would have this angle. Okay, if I erase that at this vertex, I could instead draw, if I continue this line, I would have this. So every vertex there, we have two exterior angles that we could draw. Okay, so it doesn't have to be this one. Okay, let's erase that. Okay, so we're trying to find the measure of the exterior angle right here. Label all the angle measures when you're finished. So we know that this angle X should equal the sum of the interior angles right here. The non-adjacent, not looking at the one that's missing right there. 36 plus 72. So X should equal 108 degrees. And let's go ahead and label it back in there and let's think about this. We don't know, what do you know about angle X and this angle right there that I just highlighted in yellow? Those are supplementary, right? They form a straight line. So 108 plus 180 plus something should equal 180. In the same way here, the three angles of this triangle add up to 180. So that's why this angle X is equal to 36 plus 72. Okay, let's go on to example B. The two non-adjacent interior angles right here, the sum of those is equal to 2A, the exterior angle. So let's write an equation. Let's start with 2A. What is that equal to? The sum of these two. Sum means add, so I take A minus 5, I add 80, and they're equal. Remember that equality sign right there. So I'm going to go ahead and try and solve. What's my first step? I clean up. Okay, so one of the first things I do here is clean up. On this side, I have negative 5 plus 80. So I have 2A equals A plus 75. Remember, negative 5 and positive 80 is positive 75. At this point then, I go ahead and I subtract A from both sides because my variables want to be together. So I have, let's go back here and talk about that this is 1A, remember. So 2A minus 1A is 1A, or just A, equals 75. Okay, so I might be a little unsure of this stuff, so I'm going to go back in and I'm going to label my angles with using 75. So 2 times 75 equals 150. Okay, I put in a 75 where I see the A here, and I realize that this angle then should equal 75 minus 5 is 70. 70 plus 80 is 150, which this is 150. So I know I solved my equation right, and I checked my work. So if these two, and let's just talk about one more thing, then if these two angles add up to 150, then this one should be 30. And these two form a straight line, so 30 plus 150 is 180. So that's how it works. Okay, the next section the next problem is example 3. So an airplane leaves Miami and travels around the Bermuda Triangle. What is the value of X? You'll have to find out why it's traveling around the Bermuda Triangle. What is the value of x? And then label all the angle measures. So here's x down here is what we're looking for. So what can I do? What am I going to use here? What have we learned that we want to use in this case? Does this have anything to do with exterior angles? No. Okay, it has to do with the interior angles of a triangle adding up to 180, because I want to find out what the interior angles are here. So I just start with my x plus, what's this angle here? 2x minus 44.8 plus, so I did 1, 2, my third angle is 62.8, and they should all add up to 180. So at this point, here's my equal sign. I clean up. This is 1x plus 2x is 3x. Take negative 44.8 plus 62.8. They're different signs, so I subtract them, and I get plus 18 equals 180. At this point, you have a two-step equation. Go ahead and subtract off minus 18 from both sides. 3x equals 162. 3 times what is 162? So what do? I divide both sides by 3, and x equals 54. Okay, I'm not sure if that's right, so I go back to the original and I plug in a 54 here where I see x. Here, this one's 54. And then 52 times 54 minus 44.8. So order of operations, I do 2 times 54, subtract off 44.8, and I get 63.2. So this angle right down here is 63.2. So I can check my work by adding 63.2 plus 62.8 plus 54 and see if that equals 180. And check mark, then you're finished. Okay, on the next page then you'll see on your own, so go ahead, put a star next to that. So if everybody will star this, do 3 and 4. And then there's one more, 5, which is an example, same type example, just to practice. Okay, have a great night. We'll see you tomorrow in class. If you have any questions, put question marks next to the things you have questions on, and we will answer them in class tomorrow. Thanks, bye.